What's up, people? Welcome to the DualShockers ShockCast episode 170. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Ryan Meitzler.
I'm here tonight in the chat, but my heart's in Boston.
And George Jimenez, who can speak again.
Yes, I left my voice in Boston, and now I found it.
All right, so this is the post-PAX episode, but before we do that, let's do the new game release. Who's going to do it this week?
I'll do them now that I have. I went like 3 days without having a voice. So now
Yeah, you want to speak.
I need to speak. I have things to say. God damn it! All right.
What's that, Jorge? What's that?
So for a good Friday night and most of Saturday, I was like, "Hi guys, I can't." So can you imagine talking to like developers and stuff like, "Tell me about your game." Excuse me. So I'm just like getting dangerously close to people's ears, like, "I lost my voice."
I'll get into that later because there's something that I found so funny. George was like trying to whisper. We'll get into it later. Anyway, new game release.
Whispers sweet nothings.
Anyway, for the week of April 13th to April 20th on our Year of Our Lord 2014, we have Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn on PS4.
Oh my God!
Blockman Worlds on Android, Ouya, PC, and browser. Okay. It said brown, and I was like, oh, that must be. It said brown, and I'm like, oh, that must be short for brown, and I'm like, wait, brown means nothing, so it must be something else. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Out of the Shadows on PSN. Hyper Crazy Climber, a PS1 import, PSN. PlayStation 3 Network. Conception 2, Children of the Seven Stars, Vita, PlayStation Network, Vita, and 3DS. 2014 FIFA World Cup Brazil, PS3, 360.
Brazil.
Ethan, Meteor Hunter, PlayStation Vita. No Heroes Allowed. No puzzles either. PlayStation Vita. That sounds awesome. Trials Fusion, PS4, Xbox One, 360, and PC. Pure Chess on the PS4. Backgammon Blitz, PS4 and PlayStation 3. Beyond Two Souls for digital download on the PlayStation Network. That Trivia Game, PS4. Dead Nation, PlayStation Vita. Descent 3 on Steam. Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut on Mac, finally.
Woo!
And Super Mario Bros. 3 on the Wii U and 3DS eShop. F-Zero Maximum Velocity on the Wii U. Golden Sun on the Wii U. Wargame, Red Dragon, PC, personal computer.
All right, wait. Did you say Beyond Two Souls?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a digital download?
Was it already a digital download?
I don't think so.
That's weird.
Yeah, it says here PlayStation Network.
All right, I'm gonna pick Super Mario Bros. 3 because that was my favorite game on the Nintendo. So I'm picking that.
I'm going to go with, just because I wrote about it, maybe let's do Pure Chess. 1080p, 60 frames per second, the highest definition of chess you ever encounter outside of actually playing chess.
Yes, I was about to say, outside of actually looking at it with your own eyes.
Does it get any more real than that?
Ryan, what about you?
Well, out of spite, I'm going to be picking Deus Ex Human Revolution because all of you complain that games don't come out for Mac, but games do come out for Mac. So there you go. It only took 3 years for it to come out for Mac. But no, my legit pick would be Golden Sun on Wii U because that's my favorite RPG of all time.
Great game.
So there you go. Yep.
All right, let's get into it. PAX, the DualShockers were in Boston, kicking ass, taking names, and chewing bubblegum. We did all that shit.
And ate grilled cheese also as well.
Oh, yeah, we ate a lot of grilled cheese.
Oh, that grilled cheese was so good.
Shout out to Cheese Boy. So yeah, that was actually my first time in Boston, first time at PAX, and it was a wild experience. Like the most comparable thing I could compare to is New York Comic Con. Like there's so many fucking people there, and you kind of have to battle them in order to play games and stuff. But yeah, it was great. I liked the whole like enthusiast atmosphere of it all. Like people were there for the games. There wasn't any bullshit. It was just people were there for fun, and it was I loved the spirit of it. And I gotta say, I really like the city of Boston. Boston is like I think George is. It reminds me of Lower Manhattan, but just spread out to an entire city because it has like old timey buildings and then new ones, and it has like crazy streets that don't really make too much sense. But I liked it. The people weren't so slow moving like they were in LA. The prices were pretty decent. I mean, Ryan, didn't you pay like $100 on for parking for 3 days? That's pretty fucking good.
Yeah,
Shit. Over here is like for a couple of hours you gotta pay $100. It's crazy. Yeah, I just had a lot of fun. If you've been checking out the site, we were just pumping shit out. But tonight we're just gonna regale you with the stories. George, why don't you go ahead and I'll just bounce off of you.
Okay. Do you want to start with I think what everyone universally kind of loved about the show, gaming wise, or
Evolve? We could talk about.
Yeah, I mean let's get into it. I think the booth that had maybe the longest line was that and Transistor. But yeah, Evolve. We got a chance to play Evolve. You missed it, Tony, but we were there when Cliffy B was playing it.
Actually, I heard that when I was there, he was there too.
Yeah, so he was waiting. He was in like the little group ahead of us, and we were just kind of shooting the shit. And he was like, retirement kind of blows. I want to make games." But yeah, he was playing Evolve out there as the monster, and they got like the devs against him, and they got their esports guy to commentate. They put him on the big screen, and it was like a big event. So it was really fun, like being next in line in that booth, watching Cliffy B figure out how to play, but still kicking a lot of ass and just completely holding off the developers at bay. Eventually, the developers really won, but their match was like a 20-25 minute match, which is insane.
Oh wow!
But yeah, Evolve. Turtle Rock Studios, the guys who made Left 4 Dead, are making this 4-player co-op game where it's 4 dudes versus 1 player who happens to be a monster who can evolve into a bigger monster twice.
Yeah, exactly.
And so yeah, we both got write-ups at the site. I played as the monster. Tony played as as one of the hunters.
Yeah, that was on your suggestion, by the way, because you were like, "Hey, dude, I played as the monster. You should totally play as the human, so we could have like a good conversation about that." And it was totally
because it's 2 vastly different experiences. So as the monster, you're playing in third person, and it's almost like a stealth game earlier on, where it's like you had a coach telling you what to do. It was like, yeah, you want to stay away from these hunters at this stage because they can crush you and trap you. So use your senses. If you see them coming from runway, just leap in the opposite direction, feed on small critters, and then, just focus on evolving. And once you are ready and big, you can turn right around because that's essentially game over when that happens. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was surprised how much I was able to just climb everything, and when I was ready to like pounce on people, it was great how often people don't look up. Like I was just waiting on top of the cliff and see the hunters go right under me, and I was like, all right, time for a leap charge, and I just came in and crushed everyone. And yeah, read my piece about it because I really got into it, and I decimated our community manager and her team.
Man, yeah, that was cruel.
They stood no chance. I was picking up rocks, throwing at them, and then finishing them off, and they were trying to harpoon me. I was like, no, thank you. I ripped the harpoon out. Yeah, it was bad. I killed them.
Yeah,
it was fun, and I was kind of curious what it's like to play as the human. Is it because I was having a ton of fun just being like I felt like I was a boss in the middle of a boss fight. So so what was it like on your end? Because I just feel like does it feel a lot like a Left 4 Dead on your end or?
No, it isn't. It's a lot slower and more methodical, and that's actually what I liked about it. One of the things I don't like about multiplayer games is just they're too quick. You don't have time to even think. It's just all twitch-based. In this, you have to be deliberate. Like, you have to be slow, but you can't be too slow, obviously, because the monster will evolve. And I like the fact that you have to stick together. You can't just be John Rambo, go wherever the fuck you want. You need to stick together. Everybody has a specific role they need to stick to. Like, I picked the trapper because I'm like, okay, I'm not that great at like being like all out guns blazing, but I do still want to live dangerously because it was my job to actually trap this fucking thing
and spot it. Yeah, like you can put these little sound spikes, and the guy was telling me, he goes, yeah, don't go in this area. He put little sound things, you'll show up on their map. He goes, yeah, you could throw harpoons that could like keep me from jumping and climbing. And
yeah, so that was cool. Yeah, like I would set up these sound things, and then like and I like the fact that there was other cues there. Like we'd be going around, all of a sudden, like, hey, there's birds over there. There's a disturbance. We got to go check that shit out. And then like we found this big monster, but it actually wasn't a Goliath. It was something else that was still big. I'm like, okay, that's cool because there's a lot of other monsters in the world. And then like one of the proximity mines I'd put down, it's like, I'm like, oh shit. We turn around and this big fucking monster. He was already at the top level already. So, but we were doing pretty good. We actually drained all his armor. We were like destroying him. And at that point, I'm like, okay, we got this motherfucker. But then he got smart. He was like, okay, I'm gonna take out their medic. He just went all out on the medic. Every time we try to heal her up, he would just.
That was the first thing I did. Their medic was always the last person in the group, and I managed to get behind them and kind of get them separate, and I just demolished their medic. And then I just ran away, and then it just freaked them out, and then they split up, and I was like, oh, you guys are done. But yeah, Evolve was super fun.
Yeah, dude, a game is fun when you're like, I want to play that again. That's how you know a game is fun.
Yeah. It sounded like a lot of from how you guys talked about it, and pretty much everyone loved it. That as far as I know.
4-hour wait. And let me give you a PAX tip. Don't go to PAX to play the AAA titles because
Yeah.
you're gonna waste a day. Even though Evolve was amazing, you do that at like a Comic-Con where Evolve would probably be the main game there.
Or at the very least, you do it on like Sunday when you
That's
take
true.
out
Yeah.
pretty much everything else on Friday and Saturday, and you kind of just have time to kill. Like then you can do something like that.
Yeah, have Sunday be your line day because the Friday and Saturday you really got to run to that indie mega booth. Sorry,
Indie Mega Booth. Yeah,
Mickey
dyslexia.
and the booth.
Mega Menda booth.
Mega Booth.
Because they had over 100 games. I think about 80 of them were actually video games. The other stuff was like cool, like tabletop games. Yeah, I wrote a piece on like just some of my favorite ones, but I got my little list here of stuff I played that really stuck out. So there's one game I think everyone you guys need to play, aside from like Hotline Miami 2, which I think is a little bit more it's more on people's radar now. But Hyper Light Drifter was amazing. It's kind of like a Zelda-inspired dungeon crawler, where the art style just threw me out. There's a trailer for it on the site, but it doesn't even do it justice. It's super gorgeous, and it uses a lot of like purples and grays. And what I liked about it is combat's really tight for a game that surrounds you with monsters. So you're just you're doing this crazy dash, like, and you jump to you can close gaps with it. It was really cool. And that was a game where I had to stop my demo because I had to run to another appointment. I was just like, I should just cancel it and just fucking play this game. But that fantastic game, Hyper Light Drifter. There was another one. Oh yeah, and Transistor. Tony, did you get to play Transistor, or Ryan? You did the video for it, right?
Yeah, I did the video and I played it, and I'm also working on a preview that'll probably go up tomorrow.
Okay, so keeping an eye out for that. But what did you think of it, Transistor?
I really liked it. It's funny because when I was talking to some of the staff from Supergiant, and it's interesting because the game does remind you a lot of Bastion, like just at least visually. Like the art style is very similar, the the viewpoint, and basically the gameplay is very similar. But I think they did some interesting things with Transistor. Like they kind of melded like Bastion was kind of like a real-time RPG, like an action RPG, and then this also kind of adds some some strategy elements to it as well.
Yeah, because I saw there's like some time.
Yeah,
time dilation when you like make your move. You have like it slows down a bit so you can queue up your attacks and then show how to do them.
Yep. Yeah. Basically, it kind of meshes like an action RPG with like a turn-based RPG because you can like you said, your character Red, she can slow down time, and then in that time you can go around and you can run around to different characters, and then you can select different actions. Do dodge moves and stuff like that. But that meter that recharges over time as you do it again. So it's so far from what I played, it was great. It was a lot of fun, and the good thing is the game's only about a month away now, so it's going to be coming pretty soon.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that because when I spoke to Logan at Supergiant the day before, and he does the voice work for the game, he's like, "Yeah, we're just waiting for this game to come out next month." I'm like, "Next month, really?"
Yeah, it's out May 20th, I believe, is the release date for PC and PS4.
Awesome.
Which is pretty great. Yeah, it's great. I think it's great when you get to have an experience like that where you get to play a game at an event like PAX, and then they say, "Oh, when's it gonna come out? Next month." So you don't have a very long wait until it's out.
Yeah, because there was a couple of games I played where I was like, "Yeah, this is amazing. When's this coming out?" Oh yeah, we're coming out like 2015. I was like, "Oh," because there's one game called I literally played over 100 games. Darkest Dungeon, which is like a party-based, turn-based RPG. But you're going, in dungeons, beautiful art style. But the hook here was you have to, on top of managing just your party, because it's a roguelike, so if you get people killed, they're gone forever. So you have the option of, like, if people are close to death and you don't have any campfires left, you have the option to just leave all your loot behind and just run back to town. And then you have to manage their mental health, which is kind of hilarious because apparently people get stressed out going into a dungeon and fighting monsters. The guy's like, yeah, who knew? That bums people out. So you have to. There's this meta game of a base building where every character has personality traits. So one guy could be like, hey, he likes a good drink every so often, so you should build him a bar, and that's how he relaxes because immediately when he goes into a dungeon, he doesn't want to go back. People want to unwind, so you have to use another batch of characters. So in this time, your second adventure, your previous party is healing up, they're figuring things out, but also if they're like kind of crazy, so your guy who likes to enjoy a drink could also be an alcoholic. So by the time you're ready to use him, he is hungover, and his stats are deteriorated because he's hungover, and the longer you spend in a dungeon of him going without a drink, the worse he's off and the worse he's going to perform. And then you have other characters who are just mental, and it's just like, I love killing monsters. So if they're not fighting, they're not happy, and they'll lose stats that way.
Yeah.
But something like that, I was like, oh man, that's really cool. It's like they just hit their Kickstarter, so they're going to come out for realsies. I'm like, oh, I need to play this. When's this coming out? And he's like, yeah, 2015. I'm like, oh, that's like next year. That's a bummer. But
Yeah.
what was another one? Gods Will Be Watching is another great. I think if you like games like those empathy games where you're just making really shitty decisions, like a Papers, Please type, if you're looking for that type of vibe, Gods Will Be Watching is great. They had 3 different scenarios out there. The first one was the hostage situation where you're actually taking hostages and you are engaging security forces, and you have to make sure to keep the security forces outside as long as possible while your dudes are hacking and then managing hostages. Long story short, you may have to kill a couple just to set the tone for the other people there. Be like, hey, listen, hostages, I'm not here to fuck around. But yeah, that was really fun. The second was a survival where you're just kind of like you have to survive for 7 days while you rescue, and the other one was the torture, which is really unsettling because you have to endure torture by trying to outwit your torturer. And you have to survive for 20 days. And every day that you survive, he just kind of chooses a random weapon to torture you with. So when he took an axe and then he threatened my partner, and I tried to lie and try to do a Jedi mind trick on him, and it did not work, and he chopped off my buddy's arm and he died.
Oh shit!
And then he just continued to torture me, because you just have to survive long enough for him to get bored, and he's like, I'll see you tomorrow. So when you do that, you talk to your dead buddy, like you just hear your dead buddy's voice, just kind of have a dialogue with you in between. So you're slowly losing your mind. But the best part was, and the part where a crowd started gathering was one of the playthroughs I saw. The guy pulled out a revolver and played Russian roulette with you. So if you didn't tell him what he wanted, and the whole idea is you can't confess. Like there's details that you can't reveal about yourself. So your identity and the name of your boss. Everything else is kind of negotiable because you just have to get through the torture. Sometimes you can just provoke and be like, well, fuck you, hit me with the wrench. But when he has the pistol, it's a 1 in 6 shot opportunity. So you can lie to him and hopefully he'll believe you. But one time he just said, I think you're lying, puts the gun to your face, click, big sigh of relief from her. You're like, oh man, that's great, blah, blah, blah. And then he asks you another question, and the question was, who are you? And the guy goes, and one person's like, you have to tell him, you have to confess, he's going to shoot you in the face. And the guy goes, provoked him. And he's like, no. And he goes, all right, 2 out of 5, click. You're like, ah! And then went 2 more times. He went 2 more clicks, and then third time around, he put the gun up and said, you know what, I'll see you tomorrow. And then he dropped, and that was just like, and that could happen randomly, that situation.
Wow.
And then, like, the more you lie, like, you can buy yourself time depending on, like, what tool he's using. So anything that's super heinous, like the blowtorch to, like, the nuts or something, he actually warns you, like, listen, I'm good at it. Like even the torture doesn't want to do this. He goes, listen, I'm gonna blowtorch your nuts. Are you sure about this? So he's giving you another opportunity to tell the truth. But then if you're doing that, you can build up a more convincing lie. So in between, you have a support character who comes in and out, who feeds you information to help you with your lies, to keep kind of the torture at bay. But Gods Will Be Watching, that comes out soon. You can actually, they have a browser version where you can do one of their scenarios, which is just super fucked. But yeah, that was really good. I don't know, I still have a ton more. Tony, anything you played that stuck out?
Yeah, I mean, my job was just to play the AAA game, so I was waiting on a lot of lines. But I had my shiny little press badge, so it was okay. I really like Child of Light. I was looking forward to it, and I told the developers that I had no shame in that. I liked it. It's like a platforming game / RPG. Mm-hmm. But what I really like,
It's gorgeous looking, though.
Oh my God, that's what it is. It's like they said they wanted to make like a living painting. That's exactly what they did. They didn't want the game to be too dark. They want it to be kind of light, but it's still kind of heavy, you know? Yeah, like, dude, and even though the main girl you play is already dead, she's like, her mind is in some like other dream worlds. Like, what the fuck? It's nuts, but I really liked it. That was a lot of fun. The Ubisoft thing, what else did I play? I played Trials Fusion. Apparently, they had a
crazy booth. They had BMX bikers. They had a half pipe and BMX bikers.
Yeah, that was cool. I'm like, I'm playing the game. I'm like, what's that? Oh, the real BMX biker. That's pretty cool. It was fun because that game, like, it's kind of like Burnout in like that they encourage you to crash and fuck up. Mm. So like, I would be there, I would messing up, and there's people behind me just laughing. Like, I don't know if they were laughing because I suck or because it was funny. No,
that's the game. Half the joy is watching how the guy neck hits the ground. And you're like, oh, ooh, let me not do that. Jump again.
Yeah, I played the first game I played was Wolfenstein because it was like literally right there.
How'd you like it? Because I think me and you have kind of a difference of opinion on Wolfenstein.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a strong opinion on Wolfenstein. Obviously, it's a first-person shooter. I don't really care much for those. But what I played, it wasn't that bad. There were some parts where the guy had to help me out because it was kind of confusing. Like, don't worry, in the final build, it'll be different. But I like the controls. They were good. I'm not too sure about how the game's going to turn out. It's interesting. Actually, at the Aces party we went to, I talked to the composers of the game, two of them. I'm forgetting. I was so. This was the first interview I did where I was like so fucking drunk, you know. But we set up something. You guys are gonna get something proper later on. But I was talking to these guys for about an hour, and I really liked what they were telling me. How basically the game takes place in like an alternate 1960 where the Nazis won, and they needed to come up with pop music. How would pop music be if it was in a Nazi-controlled world? So rock and roll. We went to a Bethesda party before that. They were playing all these songs in German. It's like, wait, I know this
cover band was playing 60s music in German, so we heard Rolling Stone Paint It Black in German, Beatles I Want to Hold Your Hand in German. It was so bizarre, and then the band is in character. So he's like,
exactly.
Wolfenstein, and I'm like, I feel kind of terrified at this moment.
Yeah, exactly. We've been conditioned. German accents are evil. But yeah, you know, they told me about all this stuff. I'm like, that's pretty cool. So I played that. I thought the controls were good. What did you think of it? You said, I don't know. My opinion is like, it's okay. That's my opinion. I didn't think it was great. I didn't think it was horrible. I thought it was okay.
I didn't think the demo was good. I think the game might not be bad, but because it's a long demo. It's probably a good hour and a, like you do get a good chunk of how the game plays. But the first half of that demo just plays, to me, like a regular Wolfenstein game. You're just weird super Nazi type stuff. And the game really only picked up for me when, because the game takes place in 1945. You play B.J. Blazkowicz.
Yeah, Blazkowicz.
Who ends up in a coma during the war. So he wakes up 20 years later in the 60s, well after the Nazis have won, taken over the world, and it's all this weird Nazi tech, and he breaks out of this mental asylum. To me, that's when the game picked up, and that's when the game got like a little bit more interesting. Like, you should lead with that, because the first half of that just felt like a regular, just run-of-the-mill first-person shooter. The controls felt fine, but it didn't really blow me away. Like, hey, you use 2 assault guns, you can dual-wield 2 assault guns. Like, yeah, I've kind of done this before. But it was only when I woke up in the asylum when things started to like, oh, okay, all right, I can dig this now. And that's when you start hearing the German, Beatles song being played on the radio in the background. You're like, okay, this is cool, and that setting started to work for me then. But when you're just kind of like, yay, more Nazis, 1945. Fuck me. So
yeah, like we've done that shit.
Yeah, like I fought in trenches before. I fought in like weird clock tower churches before in Wolfenstein. So it was just like, oh, there's a secret room behind the painting of the evil guy. Like, wow, they've never done that before in a Wolfenstein game. But once I got past that part, that's when the game started picking up for me. But hopefully that's just the beginning of that game, because I think we just literally just got like, hey, here's the first 2 hours of the game.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is.
I think if you can make it through that first hour, that's when things are going to start picking up and start getting interesting, because it was towards the end of that demo where you start seeing all the weird Nazi robot hybrid monster things, and I was like, okay, I don't mind shooting these. These seem like cool things to shoot. I couldn't. The AI didn't really work for me. It was a lot of them just kind of standing around asking to be shot.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was a preview build, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, saying like hopefully the AI will like duck this time around, but.
Yeah, exactly. And then I got to see, there were 2 games that I didn't get to play, but I saw videos of, one of them was Borderlands 2, the pre-sequel. Is that what they call it, the pre-sequel?
The pre-sequel, yeah.
Yeah, the pre-sequel. So yeah, I saw that. I got to interview the guys. It was pretty cool. I mean, I'm not really a Borderlands fan, but I look cool. The thing that was fun about it was like the game takes place on the moon of Pandora, so it has this like kind of light gravity kind of mechanic to it. Like you jump, it's like, you go really far. But the thing is like, it actually affects the gameplay too. Like your bullets actually like come out differently and stuff. It's pretty cool. But the thing is, it's still fast paced. It's not like everything's all slow now because you're on the moon. And the environments. I mean, that's a given about Borderlands games. They look really nice, and this one's no exception. Even though it takes place on like a moon, there's a lot of varied terrain on it. I thought that was pretty cool.
Borderlands always has that really good feedback loop of just like kill a lot of things, get really cool stuff. Oh, I can't quite use this yet. I need a couple more levels. Oh man, I just got even cooler things. And to me, the guns are the characters in that game, not
I agree.
The characters themselves.
But I like talking to the developers, which is the opposite of the Evil Within. All they did was just show you a video, and that's it. It's like I need more information about this fucking game. What the hell is going on? Like I don't know anything about the Evil Within other than Shinji Mikami's making it. Like I'm watching this, and I'm like, okay, it's like Resident Evil. What's going on in this world? Is this guy going through some psychotic like nightmare or something? What the hell is going on here?
I mean, sometimes being vague helps, because maybe if we find out the actual story, like, well, this is dumb. Like, so I think for previews and stuff, I think for a horror game, it's okay to just kind of like play it really close to the chest and just be like, this is a weird situation. Is it a dream? I don't know. Is this for real? Another dimension? Like, to me, that works.
Yeah, it would have been nice if I was just told that. Like, is this a dream? Is it another dimension? We don't know. No one told me that. It's just a video. It's like, oh, okay, I got to make up my own story here.
I heard it looked good.
It looked nice. Just the thing with zombies. I'm getting sick of fucking zombies in games, man. But it's like, here we go again. But yeah, it looked like Resident Evil without being called Resident Evil. I'm just being honest about it.
That's fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, if it plays fun and it's still spooky as hell, then I'm down with it.
Yeah, I played The Crew, the Ubisoft's racing game. I didn't get to play as any of like the fancy cars. I just played as some pickup truck. It was okay. The thing about the game is like, I don't know, it was nice, but I don't see anything that's going to distinguish it from other racing games other than the whole, oh look, you can race from Los Angeles to New York, but it's a truncated America. It's not the whole thing.
It's a 60-mile America.
Yeah, exactly. That's nothing bad. You know, it's not a bad thing. It's just like, I don't know. It's like they advertise that as the entire North America. I'm like, okay, you better live up to that. But no,
it's gonna be on I-80. That's gonna be sick.
Yeah, because I asked him, I'm like, can I visit my home?
And this is like arcade racer, right?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah,
not like it's more like a Need for Speed as opposed to, let's say, like a Gran Turismo.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go for Need for Speed, because Need for Speed is not exactly 100% arcadey, but it's not Gran Turismo. Yeah, let's go for that. It's like Need for Speed, but the whole social aspect was kind of interesting. How every racer in the world, kind of like Burnout Paradise, every racer is another person. So that's pretty cool. But there's not enough to say about the game. So
yeah, that's a game you actually would have to. You need to play that online to see if it actually works.
I think so, yeah.
Because playing that in an unpopulated world just seems like, oh, so I'm just racing a bunch of rabbits. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I played some other stuff. I didn't get to play too much. I just stuck with the AAA stuff. There were so many indie things, but I'm like, I don't have time because I have to wait on these lines and then do all this other
Well, that was
shit.
the beauty about the Indie Mega Booth, and I was telling people who were like, oh, I want to check out Evolve. I'm like, well, don't waste your day today. Go to the Indie Mega Booth where there's literally like no lines. And like the developer's standing right there. So even if you're not playing, you can just get a lot of information about the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happened with Deepest Dungeon. Also, Broforce. I think I love that game.
Okay, yeah, tell us about Broforce.
It's so fucking dumb. It's an action platformer. If you ever played like a Metal Slug game,
oh yeah,
it's kind of that vibe, except it's fully destructible terrain.
Nice.
So I was who was I? I was Robocop.
Robocop.
Rambro, and the trick is you only have one life, but throughout the stages, there's kind of like these tiger cages that have other characters in them. So in each stage, you just have to free them, and then you just get another life, and then when you die, you just come back as another bro. So the cool thing about this is, my favorite, by the way, was Indiana Brones, because he had a whip that could, like, just... So when you, like... and everyone has their own special kind of grenades and weights that they can destroy terrain. So in one part, we had to just jump over the valley, but there's an anti-air truck there just shooting at us, and I threw a grenade, and it came up super short, and I was like, balls. And it went off, and it just killed the cliff that it was on, and just all shifted down, and it destroyed everything on there. It was insane, because you're walking around, and then there was a Braid, the guy, a Blade clone. So he ran around with a katana. It was amazing. And then there was
all their names just start with a BR.
I think I just want to play this game just based on the names, because they're awesome.
Oh yeah, there was Snake Broskin. There was a Judge Dredd guy, but I forget what his name was. I think it was
Judge Dredd.
Yeah, I think it could have been Judge Bro or some nonsense like that. But that was really good. Let me run off some of the things here. Cosmic DJ was a kind of like a music thing on your iPad, which is a rhythm game, but it had like cats and stuff in the background. That's like one of weird visuals, and then you can mix and match and all that stuff. That was in the Devolver booth. Ryan, you got to play Hotline Miami. Did you like it?
I did, yeah. I was going to say, yeah, my list of games I played at PAX is pretty short. I only played Transistor and Hotline Miami. But those are two of the ones I wanted to play the most, so I was okay with that. But yeah, I got to play Hotline Miami too, and I talked to some of the guys there from Devolver as well. And yeah, I mean, it was good. It was just funny watching it because I mean, just like the first game, it's hard. Because I died probably at least 25, maybe 30 times during those two levels alone, because it was just really hard. And of course,
don't you feel weird, especially when people are waiting? Because I never know what the etiquette is when it's like, it's a game where you die really fast. So I'm gonna do it at least We're gonna do 15 each, right, guys?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's. I mean, like if you had to give up your seat, like after you died, like your demo would last like maybe at the absolute most. And it was funny because my computer I was playing on was the one that was being broadcast on the big screen in front of me, so people were just watching my ass getting handed me over and over again. But yeah, anyway. The game's, obviously, like, it looks a lot like the original, and so, like, I know a lot of previews and stuff that I saw kind of noted that, saying, like, oh, even if this was just DLC for the original game, like, you wouldn't be, like, remiss for saying that or anything like that.
Because it's just more Hotline Miami, but I
did pretty much.
Did you get to that second character?
Which one? The two character one?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't. So yeah. Anyway, I was gonna say like they add like a lot of the new things they seem like they've added have been like the different masks and abilities. Especially because in the original game, you always played the same character, Jacket, but then he just wore different masks that would give him different abilities. Now, when you pick a mask, you get a different character as well.
Oh, cool.
And then, so like you said, one of the characters that you can get is Alex and Ash, who they're actually two characters. So one of them has a chainsaw that he uses up close, and then the other one has a pistol.
Okay. Yes, they saw that happening, and I was like, that's really cool. I'm like, is he playing?
Yeah. So they're kind of like the ice climbers of Hotline Miami, pretty much, because you're controlling two characters. So one of them has an up close weapon, the other has a pistol. So you control. I think it's like left click is the chainsaw, right is the pistol. So that's how it works. But then there's also the other character, the Tiger, who like he doesn't have any weapons. He only uses punches, but I think his punches are instant kills, so he can just go up. So if you wanted to try and be a little more daring, you can go up and just punch people to death.
Yeah, my favorite was just like hitting, swinging the door open to knock one guy down, and then I threw my gun at another guy instead of shooting him because I forgot what I was doing.
Yeah.
So it knocked him out, and then I just took the guy and just gave his head in. I'm like, wah!
Yeah.
I feel sadistic playing that game.
Yeah, pretty much. I only played as the zebra character, who I think his abilities just make you like faster and more agile.
Out of the same one.
Yeah, and then there's also the other character was Mark, the bear guy, who he's really interesting.
There's a guy named Mark.
He has dual SMGs, and then he can also kind of like matrix them.
It's so cool.
It's pretty cool. I didn't get a chance to try it, but the game was fun and it works. I mean, the only thing was the demo was a little glitchy. It kept crashing on me a couple times when I played. But so far I'm enjoying it because obviously it's more Hotline Miami, and I'm okay with that. I am curious. It was only 2 levels, but I am curious to see kind of what more they're going to be adding to make it different than the first game, or like what they'll be adding that's new. They also added a couple new things like a dodge roll, which is I only use, you do a little tumble now, which you can use to like dodge gunfire and things like that. So yeah, just little. I'm sure it's going to be more little things like that rather than like huge like major additions or anything like that. But I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, makes me wonder if they're going to add co-op or not.
I haven't heard anything, and I kind of doubt it, but I can see it working though. I could see like co-op being a cool part of that if they do it. But yeah, that's going to be out this summer. They didn't say specifically when, but.
Another cool game I saw because I'm going through my notes here. One called Pixel Noir, which is a JRPG set up like a standard detective noir story. So you're running a little cute character around. But also the battle system, apparently the people just turn into demons, and then that turns into a standard JRPG attack system where everything's kind of like Lovecraftian inspired, so all the monsters look like a nightmare.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then at the Kickstarter arcade, our buddy doing Treachery in Beatdown City was there, and going there. He was doing it on Kickstarter, but he had a playable demo there, and people were kind of digging it. So I was like, good for you. You should come back and do another thing with us. But good to see his game there and working, because I remember he was being super paranoid. He's like, I gotta make it to PAX, but I need a playable build. Fuck. But that was there. I also saw Chasm, which was another gorgeous kind of platformer. Atreus Awakening was another really good, just like a lot of just pretty games. I played Secret Ponchos, that's coming out on the PS4 fairly soon.
Oh yeah, that was
very fun kind of arena shooter. Just I was digging that. I kind of like anything Western, so you kind of have these like stylized, cartoonish Western characters just shooting each other and then doing dodge rolls. And then I was picking this guy with Deserter, so I was able to get on one knee and increase my range. I was just picking people off, and I was just like,
yeah.
Nice. I was the best Secret Poncho ever.
I was gonna ask, did you guys have any games that you saw that were like kind of underwhelming, or any like disappointments that you saw there? The 2 that I kind of heard unanimously was pretty much Watch Dogs and The Evil Within.
Let's talk about Watch Dogs.
Well, and to be fair, both of these games were hands-off.
Yeah.
Video roles mostly.
Yeah.
I think that's
watching a video of dudes playing, and I think the reason why
that's the disappointment because the people wanted to play these games. So
yeah, especially
considering Watch Dogs is next month, so there should have been a playable version out there.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Is like Watch Dogs is gonna be out next month, and there's still like people saying it has problems, which is not a good sign. And then like Evil Within is not that far off either. I think that's out in August, so it's only a couple months at this point. So.
Yeah, like they told me that they're gonna have like a full-blown demo and stuff at E3 for Evil Within. Watch Dogs should have been there. It's like I'm watching this video. I'm like, cool. Can I play the game now? Nope. You just watch the video. I'm like, what kind of sucks?
Yeah, it didn't look. Because I think you saw the same video presentation I saw at some point. Because I remember commenting to you. I'm like, yeah, dude, that Watch Dogs did not look super good. And you're like, whoa, really? And then I think you immediately went to go check it out afterwards to confirm it.
Yeah, and you're right about that. You're right about that, dude.
I mean, the game itself, it looks fine, but we saw some weird performance dips. Like, you saw some noticeable frame rate issues go down.
Dude, it was like chopping the entire time I saw it. I'm like, what the fuck? Here's something interesting. The first time I saw it, it was like really, really choppy. Then the second time I saw it, it was a different like part of the video, and it was fine. So I'm like, and the thing is, it wasn't running off. It was just video. I don't know why video was choppy. It's weird. It wasn't running off a PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I don't think someone was live playing it. It was like a video. It was kind of like a video loop.
Yeah, I talked to the PR person. She said she personally brought in the video herself. So it wasn't really. It was just running off a PC. It's just video. I don't know why it was so choppy. Very weird.
But yeah, and I noticed that when I saw it was a big crowd of people there, and they were like. And one dude was like, I guess kind of heckling. He was like, "Whoa, look at those frames!" And the girl doing her present, just kind of one of the frag dolls was kind of like, "Whatever, not my first rodeo, homie." And then that's right before they did the big. At the end of them, they ended it with like the blackout and him just like kicking the shit out of a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
And the same guy who's like frame goes, "Whoa!" I was just like, "Really? Like you were easily impressed, my friend." Like the heckler was just like, "I'm like blackouts do it for you." That's. He was like, "Oh man, is it got a cell phone?" He was like, "A cell phone like ninja." I was like,
"Cell phone ninja." Ryan, were you gonna say something?
No, it's okay. I'm good.
I was disappointed because the game is literally out next month and we didn't get to play it. Yeah, I mean, out of the games I played, those disappointing. No, I mean they were okay. Yeah, the biggest disappointment probably was the Evil Within because they didn't even have anything, nothing. At least there was a girl there telling us about Watch Dogs, Like,
yeah, I heard the Evil Within. I heard the Evil Within like demo thing was a little awkward. It was just kind of
Yeah. Oh, I should say this, just funny stuff. I went to go play Ghost Recon. There are a lot of PC games, by the way. Like, I think there were more PC games than console games at this thing. I'm not a PC person, so I go there and play Ghost.
A lot of those indie stuff, they'll run on PC or Steam or that's where everyone's trying to get on. Especially a lot of Kickstarter stuff. Are like, yeah, we're trying to get on Steam, blah blah blah. But a lot of PC stuff there. A lot of people still using 360 controllers for their demo.
It wasn't even that. This was like mouse and keyboard style stuff. So okay, I'm talking about Ghost Recon. I didn't write about Ghost Recon. There's a reason for that. I go there. I have absolutely no muscle memory when it comes to like you're supposed to do the AES whatever bullshit. I don't know how to fucking do it. My hands are not used to that. So I'm like, go up, go down. Like what's going on? Like I had no idea what the hell I was doing. So I was like, I can't write about this. I'm sorry. And then
really, because it's more accurate that way, Tony. God, pissing off our PC guys.
And then I interviewed the guys for WildStar, right? And after the interview, they're like, "Do you want to play the game?" And I'm like, I had to respectfully decline. I'm like, I can't fucking play this thing.
The game shows up at everything, and it's always looking a little bit better every time I see it. And I'm like, I went there. I want to play it.
I went there for two reasons. One, dude, as soon as we hit Boston, every fucking cab.
WildStar. It's Firefall all over again. WildStar.
Yeah, that's what I thought was like. It was like the first year I didn't see Firefall yet there, but then we got WildStar. I'm like, they replaced Firefall.
Yeah, so then I was the other thing, and then their booth was really fucking big. So I'm like, okay, let me go check it out. And I interviewed the guy. My interview should be up tomorrow or today, whenever you're fucking seeing this thing. And yeah, because the thing is, to me, what's interesting is that game is kind of not taking itself so serious. Like the whole fun aspect of it. Like David said, the art style was influenced by Don Bluth and Pixar and all these other kind of things. I'm like, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, and the character customization looks really cool, and it's kind of you can just go and make whatever kind of guy you want, and the character class and system is very open.
Yeah, like the guy tells me, he's like, yeah, we have mounts in the game. You could ride a Velociraptor. You could put missiles on it. You could put ramen noodles. I'm like, ramen noodles on a raptor? Okay.
They know their demographic.
Seriously.
So I'm not even an MMO guy, and I'm like, ooh, that's pretty cool. I had to ask them if it's coming out for a console. They're like, no console plans, but it's not out of the question either. But it looks fun.
Yeah.
I like that. But yeah, I really kind of wanted to check out the indie side. The indie side was definitely more popping than the AAA stuff, but I had to.
That's why because it's because usually those indie games at like a Comic-Con or like an E3, those get drowned out.
Yeah.
By the bigger, literally by the bigger booths, by the dubstep coming out of the Ubisoft booth. You can't get to the indie stuff just because you're so distracted by the lights.
Yeah, exactly. Like not every booth had a fucking giant monster light like they did for for
or the trials. Yeah. The trials bite cage. Yeah, pretty much, but.
Yeah. But it was fun, man. I liked it a lot. Some other things I want to say just about the PAX experience. This should be up eventually. We just got to get the video. I did my first panel ever. It was called Fragging Gamer Stereotypes. We just basically debunked a bunch of gaming, stereotypes like we're antisocial, we don't have sex, all this bullshit. We kind of went off a little bit off the rails when we started talking about Mass Effect 3 too much. Just admittedly, we just kind of went off.
I feel like every conversation with Tony, it just kind of goes off the rail with Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, it wasn't even my fault, but they started it. So that was a lot of fun. I went to go see Diana's panel, which was a lot of fun too. We actually have that up on the site right now. I fell in love with Susan Arendt. I think that's how you say it.
From Joystick.
Yeah.
She is fucking awesome, dude. Like, the stuff she was saying is like, I love this woman. She's great. She used to say some real stuff. Talk about how, like, for example, it's like, it's like, if you're in this business and you're not on Twitter, you're doing something wrong, because that's the best way to hire people and all this other stuff. And it was great. It was just amazing. And then, like I said before, I really liked the whole Boston thing. Going to those parties was a lot of fun. And I'll save this for the show. I got to give a bunch of shout-outs to people, because that was the one thing I liked about PAX. And I specifically went there for this. I have so many friends, like, from this industry that I never get to actually, see with my own eyes and touch and stuff. So, like, the little pixels, the people that live on my phone, they're real. So it was great to see them.
I prefer them being not real.
So that was fun. I met a lot of dudes, man. Like, oh, Tony. And it's funny because most of them I met while I was just waiting online. I met a bunch of them just waiting for Evolve. Like, hey, Tony, what's up, man? So that was a lot of fun. Oh yeah, and then we just got to say this. This is one of my highlights, because at one point George lost his voice. We don't know how it happened. Like, was it Evolve? You went to play Evolve with your voice?
I went to play Wolfenstein. Like, I did an interview. I did an interview with one of the developers from Dungeons Defenders 2, and it went fine. And that was okay. Like, an hour later, I'm playing Wolfenstein the demo, and I have like a coughing fit. I'm like, blah blah blah. And then whatever. I finished my demo. My demo crashed. So as soon as the game got good, it crashed. So I leave, and the PR person was like, oh, everything okay? What happened? I'm like,
oh, God.
And nothing came out. And I was like, that's weird. So I'm going back to the press room. I'm like, I think I lost my voice. You're like, what? How'd that happen? I don't know. It's like, you heard me this morning speak. And yeah, so I was communicating in whispers, getting like really close to people, like, hey, I lost my voice.
And it was funny because your whisper kind of became contagious. Like, this is what I mean. Like, we'd start talking to George, and then we'd all start, like, we'd all start just whispering for no reason. But my favorite part is we went to this fucking Aces party. So George is there arguing with our boy Hip Hop Gamer.
I always argue with Hip Hop Gamer. When me and Hip Hop Gamer run into each other, we always argue for a good 45 minutes. That's why I love the guy.
He's like right next to Hip Hop, like at this fucking party with the music just blasting.
Because I wanted to make my point, and I wasn't going to be drowned out. But yeah, always happens with me and Hip Hop. We always just go at it about just the most random of bullshit.
It's great, and then you and I agree with this. Like, okay, I don't agree with anything Hip Hop Gamer says, but I love this guy.
Yeah, he's great. He's got a good enthusiasm, and he's always just happy to be there, and he's always more than willing to engage in conversation, which I appreciate. But but it was fun though. Yeah,
that was a fun party. We met a lot of cool people. Yeah, it was just great. Like instantly, like I go to fucking PAX. Like, I have 450 followers. I come back, it's like 476. Like, everybody's like just jumping in and stuff. It's really fun. Like, my whole Facebook page looks totally different now. I made all these new friends. So that's to me, that's what it's all about. Like, yeah, we're here to play games, we're here to report, but I like the human aspect of it. Meeting all these like-minded people. Like, you meet these people, there's no breaking the ice. You just talk about games. It's fantastic. I love that. What about you guys? Any want to share about Boston PAX and stuff?
No, I mean just overall I enjoy. I mean this is my 5th time going back to PAX East, and I always
You're
just
a veteran.
yeah, I enjoy it more and more each year just because like it just grown so much. Like even since the first year when it was like overcrowded and like in the Heinz Convention Center and it was like the first year and but I just enjoy it every year and especially like since this was my first because I've been there 4 times before but as an attendee. And now I got to see it a little bit differently as as my first year going as press. So just getting to like be in the press room and all of a sudden sitting next to all these people that like I've seen their work for years and now I'm like sitting next to them like tired and hungry and just wanting to like get, like,
they were just all complaining about the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It was funny like looking up to these people as like role models and like all of a sudden I'm sitting next to them and they're like, oh, I'm so fucking tired. Like it was a really good experience and obviously going with you guys was great as well too with that.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, we were all like in the same like room and stuff, but it worked. We there weren't any like conflicts or anything. Everything worked out pretty well.
We're all free. We're all friends. It will add to the stereotype of the gaming Illuminati, but yeah, it was just a meeting of the gaming Illuminati again. Of like, oh look, it's my buddies from Kotaku and Polygon and Joystick. Let's go say hi and let's all conceive to just give Japanese games bad reviews. Yeah, totally. Like, which is not the case. We don't do that. All right.
No, we don't do that.
We're too busy bloodletting and.
Yeah, like even though
Satan.
even though I was like dead tired by the end because there was a lot of moving around. I'm like, I'm kind of sad to leave. It was totally like different from my LA experience. When I went to E3 last year, I was like, get me the fuck out of this city right now. I don't want to be here a second longer. Please get me out. Boston's like, I can stay here. This is nice. This is cool.
Well, yeah, it's close to everything, and just Boston's just a really cool city, and like it's just not as jam packed as New York. But maybe in New York, I like that stuff closes at 4 a.m. because I like to party. But 2 a.m.
I was gonna say it's a little bit of a shell shock, I think, to New York people, where things are like, oh, it's like 1 a.m. Oh, it's really late, like
Yeah, I'm like, really?
What are you talking about? It's just started, man.
Get out of here. That was the consensus with a lot of like my New York friends that were up there, just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, they're like,
night's over. I'm like, yeah, I guess.
It's closing at 1 a.m. What?
Yeah. But at the same time, it let us sleep.
Yeah, that's probably was not a bad idea either, because I'm pretty sure I was sick to begin with, and then I was like, I'll just go to PAX anyway. And so yes, I'm pretty sure I've gotten other people sick on there. I know Dee got the PAX Pox, so
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I was patient 0. So.
Yeah, I always avoid those. I don't know how. I have a pretty good immune system. I've never gotten a PAX Pox or anything like that.
I only get sick at conventions. Like as soon as I leave my little bubble here.
Yeah.
I'm just my immunity to all germs just goes away. It's like, oh fuck, like.
Yeah, no, I never had that happen.
Change of weather and change of scenery, I just immediately get sick.
Yeah, even the last day, fucking Boston raining on us, that wasn't fun. It's like, come on, Boston, you were being nice up to this point. What the fuck? So yeah, and you know what? I'll do this now because I want to give some shout outs to people. All these people I met. I'll try to get through these fast. I know people don't like these, but I have to do this. I want to give a shout out to Malik Forte and Army Lynn from the Nerds. Malik Forte, one of the coolest dudes you'll ever meet. I've known him for years. It's funny because I wanted to meet him at E3 and then Comic-Con. Something will always happen, so it was great to actually see him. And the funny thing is, like, I bumped into him every fucking time. He was always in the press room doing his thing. I want to say another shout out to Maylene Garcia, homegirl. I love this woman.
From Nickelodeon.
From Nickelodeon, yeah. I met her for the first time last year at an EA event. And within the first 5 minutes, it was like we've known each other for like our entire fucking lives, and it's funny because when I saw him, I'm like, oh shit, that's Maylene, that's the gamer goddess, holy shit, let me go say hi. But then we hit it off really fast. I want to say Karen Rivera. I just met her for the first time. She's from Pixelitis. She was at the panel with Maylene and Dee. She's a lot of fun. We're gonna hang out soon. Rahat Rashid. Funny story about Rahat Rashid. So he was with Francois Chang. Shout out to Francois Chang as well, former DualShocker. I met him. He's like, hey dude, what's your name? He's like, Rahat. I've never heard this name before. I'm like, Red Hot? Is your name Red Hot? And he was like, dude, that's awesome. You can call me that. I want to give a shout out to I don't know this guy's real name. Valadier. He's Maylene's co-worker from Nickelodeon. Andrew Alliance. I finally got to meet him. I've been a fan of his for a while. Brett Lenny, I think he is. I met him at the party at the Aces thing. JR, one of the fans. He's cool. Anthony Nash from motherfucking Max Level. This guy's fun. I found him at the Evolve line. He was like, dude, it's you. Rick Aguilar, he does a bunch of YouTube videos, so it was nice to meet him. Of course, Hip Hop Gamer. I first met Hip Hop Gamer at a Comic-Con like 3 years ago. And
no one forgets their first time.
Yeah, no. I'm like, yo, Hip Hop, what's up? The first thing he does, he takes off his belt and puts it on me. That's the first thing he does. He's never met me before. It was awesome. My former boss, Torrance Davis, give a shout out to him. Without Torrance, I wouldn't fucking be here right now. And it was funny because the instant I got to the show floor, there he is. And then he actually took a picture of me playing Ghost Recon. And he was like, look at this, people. Hell is frozen over. Bromyeth is playing a PC game. Soak it all in. Shout out to Richard Bailey from the Coalition. We and him always talk. Finally got to meet him, which is cool. From She Attack, they're a new site now. I want to give a shout out to Nia, Jalisa, Gabby, and Crystal. Super awesome girls. If you want a site that's just run by quote unquote girl gamers, dude, I hate that fucking title. Check them out. They're awesome. She Attack. Fucking Twinfinite. I've never seen guys hustle like this before. They were always in the press room. They were in that little circle. It's like the round table of Twinfinite. It was great. That's Austin, Muaz, Elisa, Alex, Evan, Andres. I got all these names here. And John Charles. Those guys, man, I'm like, that was inspirational. Because I remember when I first started, that's how I was through that fucking hunger. I love that. Those guys are going to go very far. Shout out to fucking Twinfinite. And then last shout out is to 2dx.com. I did the panel with most of these guys there. Tim Torres, Jonathan Gibbs, Isaac Rouse, Gabe Zamora, Jeffrey Wilson, who put the whole thing together. If you ever meet Jeffrey Wilson, one of the coolest guys, man. Like, me and him could talk about Macross for hours. And it's funny, he mentioned we were at Diana's panel. We went in like 5 different directions in 5 minutes. We talked about shitty Japanese imports, bad anime games. We talked about all this shit within the span of 5 minutes. Then we shut up. And then the last shout out. Okay. I need to give a big shout out. And sweetie, I'm sorry for ruining your last name. Tatiana Vechnovich. Me and her are really, really close friends. I've always wanted to fucking see her, so just seeing her there and hugging her and all that stuff.
From Ask Tatiana.
Yeah, from Ask Tatiana. She used to be she used to be the managing editor at 2DX. Now she has Ask Tatiana. To say that I love this girl is honest to me. She's like one of my best friends. It was just great seeing her. It was funny because I went to breakfast with the girls from that panel that day, and I'm just talking to Maylene about it, whatever, and all of a sudden this girl just comes up and starts hugging me like, whoa, oh, it's Tatiana, because she's really fucking tall. I didn't realize how tall she was. So, yeah, shout out to anybody else who I missed. It was just a great experience, man. PAX was fucking amazing.
Look at Tony making friends.
Yeah, I do that.
I was too busy watching Star Trek and healing in the hotel room.
That was great. Yeah, we saw that Star Trek episode with the actual Picard meme.
Yeah, I was like, that's where it came from, internet.
That was great.
Yeah, it was funny because Erica was there. She was like, why is Picard acting weird? Like, no, that's not the way the show is. He's just putting on an act. The show doesn't have bad acting. All right, so that's anything else about PAX before we move on to a couple of news bits?
I want to give a shout out to the Brominator, Bromander, Bro in Black, Bro Dread, Bro Hard, B.A. Boroskis,
love it,
Mac Brover, and Mr. Anderbro. These were some of the bros in Broforce, and I feel like meeting them for the first time was great.
Were you actually like there, or was it just?
No, they were in the game.
Yeah, but you got to give them a shout out because they're that fucking awesome.
The game is amazing. Or Brodell Walker, which is the Texas Walker Ranger.
These are the best character games ever.
I need to play this game like now. That's brilliant.
Does this have co-op?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so we all need to pick our bro, and then just bro out in Broforce.
Brian, what about you? Any shout outs?
Too many probably at this point, but.
I want to thank the internet.
I want to thank the internet because without it, I wouldn't be here. All right, so yeah, let's get some news out of the way. Not too much stuff. It was designed that way because I'm like, let's talk about PAX. So Sony has sold 7 million PS4s worldwide, right?
I believe so, yes.
And this is sold, not just shipped?
Yes, I believe so.
Does it matter?
Yeah,
This is shipped and sold anyway. Shipped means someone bought it.
They're doing very well.
Yeah, so yeah, congratulations, Sony. This was given. This machine's great. Let's talk about Marty O'Donnell. Is that how you say his name? O'Donnell, my bad. Ryan, take it away. What happened with this man?
So basically, news went out this morning that he was fired by Bungie, or terminated without cause, is how he put it. But basically, Marty O'Donnell, as I guess probably most people know, he was the composer of the music for the Halo series. Basically, from the first game up until, I believe, Reach, I think was the last game he scored. He didn't do Halo 4. But yeah, that's about it. Apparently, he was actually fired last week, but I guess today he was able to announce the news.
He did this on Twitter, right?
Yeah, he announced through Twitter. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I guess it just caused a lot of outrage because obviously he's been like associated with the series for a very long time, and he was also working on the score for Destiny, which is the upcoming new series game by Bungie.
Yeah, which is weird because he's the guy in charge for music. So then
Yeah.
there's some shady boots stuff going on here. We're kind of like, dude, something happened. Like,
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Just because there hasn't really been any other explanation yet about exactly what happened or whether it was like creative differences or something maybe more. But
yeah,
good luck to you.
It's crazy because like Halo's like one of the iconic things about Halo is the music. So the guy who created it, yeah. So you get, I don't know, that's very weird. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, yeah.
More when the story unfolds.
Exactly. So Sony has sold their Square Enix shares. I didn't even know they were still holding them. I mean, it makes sense, like given their history and stuff. So how much was it for? Like $47 million or something?
So Sony, I believe, had about 9.52 million shares invested in Square Enix, and they sold it for about 47 to 48 million altogether.
Who did they say who they sold it to?
No, I don't know. It didn't. They didn't release any details. I think tomorrow is when they're officially going to give details about like price and all that stuff. But it didn't say to who like they sold them to.
That's strange. Maybe I don't know if this is like an ending of a relationship or it's just like, hey, the stock is hot.
I don't know. I mean, because a lot of people brought up that Sony has been doing a lot of cost cutting in the last couple of months between layoffs and a lot of their studios and things like that. So it could just be like they're just trying, especially with all their projects coming up like Project Morpheus and all these things that are probably costing them like hundreds of millions of dollars to push into. I wouldn't be surprised if this is just them kind of cleaning house and trying to pinch their pennies a little bit, but.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, what were they doing with this stock? Just holding it? I mean,
No,
I guess. Yeah, I mean,
in the company.
Yeah, and I mean, you have to remember too. Like, it's not like Square has been providing a whole lot to the, to Sony over the, their exclusivity deal hasn't been as strong as it has been in past generations. So.
This is true.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then the last bit, you guys wanted me to throw this in for fun. So Snoop Dogg, he's going to be doing voiceovers for the multiplayer of Call of Duty, Ghost. That's pretty funny. For shizzle, my nizzle.
He will be announcing, so when you get a strike package, you got a strike package, baby. It's like, oh my god. And I was sitting there, I was like, I would totally pay $2.99 for this. That's the worst part out of this whole thing.
It's like, I don't even play Call of Duty. I'm like, maybe I want to get this now, just I can hear Snoop Dogg. Like, yeah, like when you get, let me look this
You gotta kill Strizzle, yo.
You gotta kill Strizzle, Televizzle.
Or you kill someone, he's like, look, you killed that guy. I was like, that's great. And, they started doing stuff like this in, I think it was in Dota, where they started doing, like, announcer packs where they can kind of, it'll change the announcer of your game. So I guess there is a market for this type of thing, especially if you're a hardcore Call of Duty fan. It makes me wonder on who else can we use. Like, maybe it'll be like a Bruce Campbell or something next time. Like, I would love a Bruce Campbell.
That would be amazing. I want a Stan Lee pack.
Yeah, oh my god.
That's what I want.
Excelsior.
Are you kidding me? Excelsior.
Or like you get a strike back and he starts talking about how like he stole like the idea from Spider-Man from like Jack Kirby or something.
Yeah.
Just really starts trashing Jack Kirby.
When me and Kirby created Spider-Man, it was actually me. He stole the idea. But yeah, Snoop, he said, I wrote some of stuff. He says stuff like, if you get a ballistic vest, he goes, ballistic vest ready. Those are some fine-ass threads. Or he'll say, don't stop, cap him and shank him. It's great. I think it's brilliant, personally. Like, I want to know if this is going to open up door for more celebrity voiceovers. And
why the hell not? Give me a Christopher Walken.
Dude, I was just about to say that.
Let's just do it. Who cares?
Oh, man.
Give me a Nolan North and Troy Baker one, just for shits and giggles. Let's just throw it out there.
Ryan, what about you? Who would you like to do some voiceovers and stuff?
I don't know. I have to think about that.
John Warburton, the voice of Joe on Family Guy.
There you go. What? I want one with George, with his full 100% voice.
Oh, yeah.
What you do one? Even you were missing. Like, I miss my voice. It
was weird. It was weird not being able to talk and wanting to talk. Like, the words, they're not coming out. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you lose your voice at PAX, the place where you want to talk about stuff. Like, we're in the press room, and he's just telling me about it. Like, oh, so amazing, it's so great. And I'm like, What's going on?
Well, Anthony from Joystick came over and he was like, "Hey man, what's going on?" I was like, "Oh, it's my voice." He's like, "What?" And I was like, "I lost my. Wait, you lost your voice?" I'm like, "Yes, I lost my fucking voice."
Yeah, because at first my mind was like, okay, like people usually lose their voice at conventions, and I was like, wait, hold on, we've only been here for a couple of hours. He's only playing video games. What the fuck is going on? Because when you're not really talking, and it's been like literally. Oh yeah, I need to say this about the first couple of hours. This was the smelliest convention I've ever been to. Holy shit. It's like, I'm doing a panel on gamer stereotypes, and there's a stereotype right there. It's like these smelly motherfuckers. It's insane.
To be fair, conventions smell, because those same smells
do smell, but not at 10 a.m. on the first day.
You'd be surprised. Those smells show up at that car show at the Jacob Javits Center, right?
Yeah.
That place smells like someone left something in the car. It's like... It's not, guys. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, God. So back to the voice packs real quick. So if I could get either a Samuel L. Jackson voice pack...
Motherfucker!
A Troy Baker voice pack, just so that way I could get Troy Baker in all my games, that would be great.
Now I'm thinking about the Chappelle skit. How's it taste, motherfucker? It's my beer!
I did also think about the possibility of a Gilbert Gottfried voice pack, but
that would be amazing. That would be great.
That would only work if you can make other people listen to it in the game.
I don't know how that might get old pretty quickly, but it would probably be amazing. As you got a kill streak.
You got a kill streak.
I'll be performing at Caroline's. I was like, he's just such plugging himself.
Oh my god. That actually reminds me, I don't know if you guys remember Married with Children. That reminds me of a part of it. Like, Al Bundy was on a ship, and in a cruise ship. The ship sank, and they're out at sea. He's like, oh, God. And Peg's like, Al, we've only been out here for an hour. Like, it's not the ship. It's not being outside. It's Gilbert Gottfried. What are you talking about? Aren't I great company? And then he wanted to jump into the ocean. I would love that. Like, play that for your worst enemy, the Gilbert Gottfried voice pack.
Yeah. Next Call of Duty DLC.
What about Robin Williams? Oh my goodness!
Oh, I'll pass on that.
Oh, stop! All right,
conversation over.
This show's pretty much done. So let's talk about what games we've been playing. Ryan, what have you been playing lately? Okay, so are we gonna talk about the stuff we play at PAX? We already kind of talked about that.
Was there more? No, I've got the list.
Oh, the list.
A list of stuff that I thought was cool.
Yeah, go for it.
Invisible Ink.
Yeah.
It's like XCOM with spies, which is the best way to describe
it. We have an interview on the site that you can check out there, a video interview with Matthew Martinson from Clay that you can check out.
And I have a write-up about my, I got to actually demo the game, really cool game. If you like turn-based, it's stealth, and that's turn-based, and it's kind of like, oh, this is new, I've never tried this before. So yeah, at first the mechanics just seem a little bit jarring, but once you actually start playing it, it's like, oh, this is such a good fit. How has no one thought about this before?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Max Gentleman. That was another fantastic game. Okay, so this is a hat stacking game where you play a perfectly handsome gentleman in a top hat in the middle of a bar fight, and the idea is you have to move back and forth and try to stack as many hats as possible because people are throwing beers at you. So you have to select a hat and then jump up and make sure the beer goes past, and you have to stack as many hats as possible. I only mentioned it and played it because if you had the high score, you left with a gentleman body pillow, which is one of the characters like this, completely shirtless.
That's
with
awesome.
Full fancy man mustache and top hat, and he's just like that on his body pillow, which is great. And also, Octodad is in the game as a gentleman. He's disguising himself as a gentleman, so he's one of the fathers there. And also a bear with bear bang, like wearing a Duke's hat, which is kind of neat. Strike Vector was kind of like an aerial space shooter, really cool. The Oculus Rift stuff looked really neat. What else is there? A couple of 4-player co-op games I saw. Night Squad, really neat-looking game. A bunch of people throwing things at each other. Slash Dash was really neat. We talked about Broforce. I could keep talking about Broforce. Darkest Chasm, I went through that. Galax Z is for the PlayStation 4, I believe, coming out soonish. Space shooter. It's a roguelike, and the level is randomly generated as you fly through it, which is really cool. And the art style is like an 80s sci-fi anime, so it's like heavily inspired by an episode of Macross, where the way the cutscenes come in, the characters just shoot on screen and they're all full anime and just yelling things at you, and speed lines are intense.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that game now.
Awesome. La Mulana 2, they had it there. The Niguro guys were there, and there was such a cool game. I love the first La Mulana. It's if you kind of like Spelunky, it's kind of like along those same terms. Oh wow. Kingdom's Rise was this medieval like arena game where it's like you're dueling other knights and stuff. Just gorgeous looking game, heavy CG graphics. Guns of the Icarus. It's airship on airship combat where you're on the airship crew manning guns and then moving and flipping over. That looked really neat. Was it Treachery and Beatdown City? That looked really awesome. Shout out to Sean. Burrito Galaxy 6, where you eat burritos or something. I remember just writing that down and looking at it. I'm like, what the fuck is Burrito Galaxy 6? So
I gotta stop you just off of that and off of the hat game. Thank goodness for indie developers. Seriously, I love you guys, man, for coming up with these insane ideas. I love it. Go on.
Yeah, and then there was Alpha Muse, which is a music-based game. You probably see some videos on the site. Really cool looking game, really cool playing game. That's coming out for Sony. Chroma Squad. This is another turn-based RPG, but it's based on fake Power Rangers. So
Power Rangers.
So it's like red chroma, green chroma, and you're fighting monsters, and it's all cheesy and it's really cool. And then I think finally there was Karma Flow, the rock video game opera. I'll leave it at that.
Whoa, okay, that sounds pretty awesome too.
But yeah, but there was just so much at PAX. There was the indie mega booth, there was the indie mini booth, where it's just a dude with a screen just telling you about his game. A lot of cool stuff, and we'll still have, I'm trying to write a little bit more about Pixel Noir because I got to have a conversation with the guy there about his game, just because Detective Noir looked really cool. And we always monsters sometimes. I'm butchering that to always sometimes monsters.
Okay.
Another one of those empathy games shaped like a 16-bit sprite RPG. It's gonna bum you out, but it's so fucking cool. If you get a chance, speaking about it is a spoiler within itself. So if you guys get a chance, Google it or just do some work on your end. God, why am I doing all the work? So check some of these games out. Check out my write-up. There's a lot of trailers. There's a short little write-up and then a trailer. See what the stuff looks like. But yeah, if you have any opportunity, as soon as those PAX tickets go on sales, figure it out. If you live in Texas, they're gonna do PAX Austin now, which is gonna be great. So in PAX Prime, if you're on the East Coast, on the West Coast, in Seattle. But yeah, PAX is such a great show. If you want to play like a lot of cool games and a lot of these guys are just doing Kickstarters and then basically just like, hey, if you like our game and you think you're interested in, check out our Kickstarter, buy it so we can keep this game going. But there was a lot of like humble indie guys there just saying like, hey, if you guys really like our game, please show support. So yeah. Go support by going to PAX, and if you like the stuff there, throw a couple bucks their way. But yeah, that was the common theme of a lot of the indies I saw was like, yeah, we got a Kickstarter, we'll need like $5,000 more to make this a real game. And it's like, oh my god, that's so much pressure, I need to go.
Yeah, right? Like, oh, I want to help you out. Yeah, I love that, because it's like a good counterpoint to E3, because E3 is just nothing but AAA games. So
it's AAA, and it's AAA, and you're dealing with a lot of PR people who are media trained. It's so fun talking to people who haven't been vetted by me. They tell you a lot of things they're maybe not supposed to.
Yeah, but that's part of the fun.
And you know what? They're more human about it, and you can kind of see that, like, oh, this guy's, it's good seeing people passionate about stuff they're working on, as opposed to someone who is hired to be passionate.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and it's not a knock on like PR people. That's just their job. And some of them generally do love the stuff they're throwing out there. But it's nice seeing someone who actually made that project, put their blood, sweat, and tears into it. Who were like, I talked to the Deepest Dungeon guy, and one guy asked him, "Hey, are there going to be like these are really cool like armor sets and stuff? Are you gonna have multiple? Can people equip different looking armor?" And we were talking to the artist, and he says, "Absolutely not. Do you have any idea how much work that is?" That was maybe the best answer, like the most honest. And he goes, "That was just so much work getting these guys to look the way they do. Could you imagine if we could just swap that out with something else?" He goes, "No, you guys are trying to kill me." Like, maybe we'll make it a Kickstarter goal, but. Like, that was such a cool response, and a lot of those indie devs are just really cool. And everyone's working like off Unity, and they're really looking forward to the Unreal, the licensing deal that Unreal did. Where you can get it for $20 a month. So yeah, it's really cool just seeing people work on, seeing like their game at 30%, because it's like I cannot wait to see this game next year at the next PAX or E3 or. But yeah, like take a Transistor, like that's a game we always see at PAX, and it's always looks a little bit cooler every time we see it, But yeah, good on PAX. And
when you see those guys, you genuinely want them to be successful. You really pull for them, and like it's like you're supposed to be a little bit like not biased against stuff because you're a journalist, but I root for these guys. It's great, You
want to root for them because the innovation is coming from indie games. You need AAA. You need AAA to keep the industry alive because we actually need Call of Duty to sell 2 billion copies.
Sorry, people, it's the truth.
That's why it has to happen. They just have. But yeah, but you want to go to the indie stuff because they'll surprise you with something kind of cool and quirky and amazing.
That's what I always said. Yeah,
they're the ones driving the innovation and the new ideas.
Because they can get away with it. They can get away with it, you know.
They're the ones with the ideas that the bigger publishers are going to steal to put in AAA titles next time around.
That's exactly how it is.
Support these guys.
That's a conversation I had a lot at this year's PAX. That's exactly how it is. They innovate, the AAA guys will pilfer it. That's how it is. All right, Ryan, what have you been playing?
Other than what I played at PAX, a little bit of Final Fantasy X HD on Vita, but not very far. And that was about it. I didn't get a chance to really play a lot before PAX, just because trying to mentally prepare for it and everything.
Yeah.
But, yep.
And for me, same thing. Only the games I played Frags. And today, I just started playing Strike Suit Zero again. That game is really complicated. I've been away from it for a week. I'm like, well, what does this do? Because you have to use every button in conjunction. Nuts.
It's a controller game.
It's like, whoa, this is nuts. But at the same time, it has mechs. It feels like kind of like anime-ish, so I'm having fun with it. I'm gonna try. I'll have a review for you guys next week for that and something else. So I really want to. It's kind of because I volunteered for that. Then I was like, maybe I shouldn't have done it. Maybe I should have taken a break. But no, I want to get that. I want to get that out for you guys.
No, we're back at it. I'm reviewing.
We haven't.
I'm reviewing MLB The Show. I've got my draft for Deception coming up sometime. There's some phrases not working for me, and that's just the game's nature of being super Japanesey. So it's like I need to find a better way to say certain things. But that should be up soon. I've got an Out There review, which is this really cool FTL kind of clone on the iOS.
Nice.
Actually, say clone, it's unfair, but it's actually a really cool game. They had a really cool booth there, and those guys are fun to talk to.
Yeah, I actually have some upcoming reviews too. I have the new episode of The Wolf Among Us that I'll be getting out hopefully soon, since I actually finished that. And then Ragnarok Odyssey Ace and Disney Magical World on 3DS as well.
Fun!
We're still hustling. Yeah, and I also have Mercenary Kings. I'm going to have that for you next week. And another comic book review. I'm going to review Tomb Raider, and George is going to be doing Witcher sometime.
Yeah, I got to read it.
I got to read Tomb Raider too.
Speaking of comics, I did actually read through The Last of Us American Dreams, the comic series that was like a prequel to The Last of Us as well.
You bought that nice hardcover and stuff at PAX?
Yeah, I got the hardcover at PAX. Yeah, it was pretty good. It's really short. It's only 4 issues, so you can get through it. I finished it in like one bus ride, so it didn't take very long to get through.
Speaking of PAX, if we want to do a quick shout out, Logan Cunningham, the guy who does the voiceover for Bastion and Transistor, signed my poster.
Nice.
Bastion, and I was like, thing is, I know him, and I see him all the time when I'm out in Brooklyn, just being like a degenerate.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Hey man, can I be that guy and ask you for an autograph?" Because really, I'm like, "Yeah." I'm just gonna go cut.
I am so anti-swag. Like, I would get stuff and like, I don't want this. And remember, Ryan, I gave you my poster. Like, you take this. I don't need it.
Yeah.
Because I always think about logistics. Like, how am I going to bring this crap back with me?
Certain things I'll take back, like posters and stuff like that. But most of the time, I try not to take too much, because then I throw out 75% of it pretty much. So.
You didn't keep those vinyls for Wolfenstein of the German?
No. The vinyl's sitting in my desk. So.
Nice.
I got one House of the Rising Sun, so I was like, yeah, German, let's fucking do it.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, guys. So that was the show this week. Thank you for listening, watching, all that other stuff. I want to say thank you to my fellow staff writers, Ryan Meitzler.
Goodbye, everyone. Until next PAX.
And George Jimenez.
Guys, in awesome news, our friends over at unwinnable.com just launched a successful Kickstarter for their weekly series. So big ups to Chuck and Stu, Don, Kenneth, Keith, or I always get Kenneth and Keith confused. But great job, guys. I look forward to your first issue. But yeah, check those guys out on unwinnable.com. They're just like awesome. But they don't pay me or anything. They're just really good friends of mine. And
we like to support these people, man.
Yeah, and their Kickstarter was looking dire for the last couple of days, and they had a impromptu Twitch telethon last night that went literally like 24 hours.
Really? Is that what happened?
Where Don got in and did some DJing live, and they played some retro games, and they managed to get over the hump, and they still have a day left of people donating money, but they already hit their mark. So I was like,
nice.
Good on you guys. So well done.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you all next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.